I need show notes. I've just completely forgotten everything I was planning on doing. No, okay, so my name is Grace. This is my little knitting podcast called Babbles Travelling Yarns, and thank you so much for stopping by and saying hello. Do say hello, actually, if you do want to. I've got a Ravelry group over on Ravelry. It's called Babbles Travelling Yarns Podcast. You might hear the planes flying over. I'm directly in the flight path for Sydney Airport, which is where I am at the moment. Not in Sydney Airport, just in Sydney. The airport is really close to the city, so they kind of zoom in right over my house. Sometimes, depending on the wind and stuff. So, but as you might hear from my accent, I'm Irish and I like to travel a lot. There's a lot of Irish people down in Australia because we like to go where the money is. Traditionally. No, but yeah, I'm down here on a year-long visa, which is why my podcast is called Babbles Travelling Yarns. So my visa runs up in February. I better tell you the date today. It is the 12th of September 2016. I was going to say 2014. I was like, it's not 2014. So you can find me on all of the social medias. Well, 3 of them now. Ooh. One on Instagram as Vanna Willemeel, 2 on Ravelry as Vanna Willemeel, and 3 on Periscope as Vanna Willemeel. And I have done about 2 Periscopes on there, and it's super fun. It's nice to get like instant feedback and stuff. So I started watching Sue's, and I've been staying at Sue Knit 24, Sue from the Legacy Knits podcast. So she periscopes every weekday, normally in the morning her time in America, which is normally at about 12 o'clock in PM. So I have to stay up really late for those. So I really like it when she does early ones because I can chip in on that instead of like replaying it 6 hours later when I wake up. So thank you so much. She said that she was coming on early, especially for me one day, and I was like, oh, Sue, I love you so much. And I told her, because you're able to do that on Periscope. You're able to like text and interact directly. So I've got this little bracelet on at the moment. It's one of these Jessie and Alex and Annie bracelets, and my aunt got it for me. It's little St. Christopher, who is the patron saint of journeys, I think, travelers. But I'm going to take it off because it's jangly and I'm worried that the sound is going to annoy me as well as you. So I'm just taking it off, but it is beautiful and I try to wear it every time I'm not working. So today I'm drinking some amazing white blueberry tea that a viewer sent me all the way from America, yay, and it's in my awesome cup. I don't know why it's not on both sides, but it says anyone can be cool, but awesome takes practice, which I think it applies to knitting, don't you? Because you have to practice a lot to be awesome. So that's how. Actually, it was a charity shop and it was the only mug that was there, and I was like, I'll have it. Destiny. So it's black on the inside, so I can't see what color my tea is, but it's very tasty and I'm thirsty. So now my plan for this podcast, so it's going to be quite a chatty podcast and mainly about the communities that I've been interacting with recently. So I'll talk about my knitting first, so you can get that out of the way. And if you're not interested in any of the rest of the stuff, you can bye. So I've got lots of time today because it's my day off, Monday. I did actually go into work this morning because I forgot to sign my timesheet on Friday. So I need to get paid this week because I need to pay the rent. So I had to go in really early this morning, but I came home and it's now about 20 past 10 on my sideways clock. So I'm podcasting now. So, right, so it's going to be, okay, thank yous and intros, done. The sketch along that I'm having, the little giveaway that I'm doing, is in the Ravelry group as well, Babbles Sketch Along, and it's all about just kind of mindless doodling, you know, so you don't have to be great, don't have to be good. A lot of people in the group have posted their beautiful drawings, and it was inspired by Marcy from the BrownBerry podcast, BrownBerry Chronicles podcast, and I was chatting to her. I'll get to that later. Marcy. So pop over there if you're interested in colouring, in drawing, in doodling, or if you just want to see what people have made and comment, because it's a nice chatty, everyone can chat away. I'm going to pull the thread from anything. So I'm going to draw a drawing myself. I haven't got around to it yet because I've been knitting. I might give away some of these drawings as well. So I did an art degree, fine art, and I did printmaking, which is mainly about line and colour. So I'm mainly a line girl. I love line drawings and kind of very meditative sort of drawings. What's that? So yeah, that's I think that's my favourite at the moment. It's Hogwarts. Oh. So yeah, I'm going to be giving away a drawing or 2 or 3 depending on how I feel. I'm going to be giving away some beautiful yarn from, it's Australian merino. This is by Chelseachelseaknitz, and it's in a minty colorway, and it is super gorgeous. 100% merino. This is also so soft, and it's 100% merino, 50% merino, 50% cotton, but it does not feel like cotton. It feels so soft. This doesn't have any of that hard cottony nastiness, but it's beautiful, and it's Bellisimo St. George, and it is fabulous. That's going to go in there. And I've also found these 2 little books, which are so cute. They've got little crafty things in there. Oh, it's so cute. This is a little crochet thing, I think. Yeah, a little crochet heart, and this is like a little bullet journal-y type thing, and they're just little lined notebooks, but they're so cute, so I found them. I don't really have that much money to spend on getting prizes together, so I'm going to be drawing and making the prizes because that's nice. So yes, so okay, that's done. So my FOs, I don't have any. I was trying really hard, and I have not stopped knitting, and I've actually had some hand issues with my tendon down here and just in around the thumb bit. Disaster. So I've had a lot of people tell me that I should be icing, and I'm stretching in between every 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. So I'm doing that, and I'm working it out. So no FOs, but I'll show you what I'm wearing. So this is, I finished it a while ago, a couple of months ago, when I was on the road, because we drove down in a van from Cairns all the way to Melbourne, and you can check out my previous podcast on that because they're cool. This is the Budding Bluebell shawl, and I'm just holding it with a little clip because I don't fancy doing that today, and it is by Mina Phillip. I'm showing you the back, that's no good. Mina Phillip, who is the Knitting Expat on Ravelry, and no, she's Mina Phillip on Ravelry, Mina Phillip Designs, and she has the most gorgeous designs. Look at those little bluebells. Now, this is a cotton blend, which is why it's not sitting quite nicely. I really want to make another one of these in like a woolly yarn that'll block nice, but I just love that. Look at all these little bloops. This is the budding section, and these are the bluebells. And I think I was drawn to this because bluebells symbolize my birthday month, which is May back in Ireland, and I love them. They make me feel special. So, so it's a green and grey cotton yarn from Lincraft in Australia, which is kind of like a big box store. But it's all that I could afford, and I really wanted to make it because it was Mina's and it was beautiful. So I love it. I just love the lace. Right, okay, I'm over it properly again. So it's a beautiful sunny day today, but it was a bit cold this morning when I was walking up to work. So I just popped this over my shoulders and Tied it with a little thing. A little hair clip. Oh my gosh, my hair's annoying me now. Right, put it back. Stop playing with it, Grace. You know when you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fix. Stop. It's fine. Nobody cares. Well, this is like a hair out of it. It's fine. I always have to keep checking to see if it's still recording, because it does that thing where it runs out of memory but doesn't tell you, so you're talking to yourself for years, which is awkward. So moving on to whips. Now I do have 2 new whips, which is probably why I don't have any FOs, and one whip that I've been trying to finish that you have seen. I've been trying desperately to finish for ages, so I'm going to show you that one first. So this is my Ginny cardigan, and I think I was on the sleeves the last time I showed you. Now I have joined everything together. So this is a bottom-up cardigan. It's a Ginny cardigan, or the owl cardigan, by Marie Chiba, and it is in a book called Knitting Wizardry, 27 Spellbinding Projects. Now it was originally the unofficial Harry Potter knits book, but they had to change the name to publish it properly because of Warner Brothers branding or something. So now it's the owl cardigan, and it's great. And you can get it online. I got it as an ebook through my Kindle Unlimited subscription. So you can get it on Kindle Unlimited, I believe, or maybe I bought the whole book. I can't remember. It was really good. So this is the front. I really should staple these together. I'm just kind of moving pages around. So this is the front. So it's a very simple front section. And it's got short row shaping for the bust, which I've never seen before. And then on the back, which is the entire reason I got this, is the lovely back panel. Where is it? Well, that's no good. Sorry, there it is. So it's got this amazing owl lace pattern on the back. It just makes me happy now everything's out of order. Oh, I should have just stapled them. I don't own a stapler. So it's a cardigan, but I hate purl stitch, so I'm steeking it up the front. Now I've got to the complicated bit where I'm up the neck. So I've joined the sleeves and I'm working on the yoke. So I'm knitting up. So this is how far I've got. So sleeves and the body. So I did it much longer than the pattern suggests, because I'm quite tall and I have a long body, and I enjoy long sweaters. Short kind of things make me look silly. So this is the amazing owl pattern. I'll show you the lace. So nice. Some people were having trouble with the lace pattern on the project page, and I did have a trouble at the bottom, my little special owl at the bottom, but that's okay. He's fine. I've integrated him. So now I was talking to Shannon of the Soccetra podcast, as I do pretty much every day. And she was saying, because I was worried about this whole, adjusting it for steeking. So this is the steek that I've added, and it's extra 5 stitches down the front. And I'm into the body, and basically what I'm doing is short rows. I feel like I should have binded these off and then just done the pattern. But I might just, I don't know. I don't know how to bind these off now, maybe with an extra bit of, I don't know what I've done, because what I've done is basically just started decreasing either side here and just gone back and forth. So I've left these live, which I feel like I should have bound them off. I might go back and bind them off and then just do what the pattern says, because I'm going to be cutting them anyway. So I was kind of going to cheat, because I've never done a yoke that you knit straight up and then decrease very quickly in at the top shoulders. And I was like, I don't know. And I've done raglan decreases on a little baby jumper. And I was like, will I just cheat and do raglan decreases? And I was like, no, it looks really nice. Other people have done it. And I asked Instagram and everyone was like, you can do it. It's fine. Just follow the instructions. It's fine. It's fine. Like Lisa from the Knitting by the Sea podcast, she was like, I think her daughter, Ichigo Knitter, who is in Japan at the moment. Hi, if you watch. I don't know if you do. But she said it was her first sweater, I think, and she really enjoyed it and it's lovely. So I'm like, I'll do it. Actually, Lisa, I think you've just put a new podcast up. I haven't seen it yet. I will watch. I love your podcast. So yes, it's a huge amount of knitting on this. So I just want it to be done, you know? And I'm scared that I've messed it up by adding the steek. I don't know what I'm doing. It's my second full big garment. And I'm adding it in the Fruity Knitting Podcast first garment cal, because my first garment was the flax sweater by Tin Can Knits, and I started it in the duration of the cal, which was back in June, and it finishes, I think, in the end of September or October. So if you start another one in the time slot, that's included as part of your first garment cal, because it's like, and this is different, this is bottom up as opposed to top down, and it includes lace, and I've messed up. Not really, I'm gonna be fine. Shannon, the hashtag bleep it, it's fine, or my shit's grand, it'll be grand. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. I'll convince myself that it's gonna be okay. So that's that. Did I say anything about that? So that's in Knitting Wizardry. That's perfect. Right, so I'll move along now. And I'll talk about my next project I've been sharing all over Instagram. So this is with the beautiful Bakery Bears Patreon yarn. This is the colourway Azeem's Dream, and Kay and Dan have started dyeing yarn for the patrons, and I've separated off into 2 balls, and it's like beautiful gentle like watercolour greens and like slight blues. It's not very dark blues, it's kind of more grey green blue, and then they've got little pops of mustard and tiny pops of red as well, which remind me of like little blossoms on the side of a riverbank. So it's just knitting up so beautifully. Oh my gosh, why do I just do this? Do you know what? I don't think I ever actually stop at the end of a row. I think the middle of the row is just where I feel like stopping most of the time. Living on the edge of sanity. What is happening here? Okay, right, okay. So these are my Hermione's Everyday Pattern socks, and I don't know which way to show them actually, because technically I'm going to be wearing them like this, so I'll show them like this. Go away, stop. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'll tuck in those ends so you can see them. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is showing up as beautiful as it should, but it is so gorgeous. So it's doing this like kind of a gentle spiral around, which reminds me of, you know, like ripples in a river. Oh, and I'm loving the way that Hermione's is working on these, because they're not so crazy variegated. You know, you've got this kind of gentle repeat coming down. I did a 1x1 twisted rib, which was hell, but looks amazing, so it's worth it. And right, and then down the back I'm doing what Mina does, which is to show off the beautiful yarn. I'm just doing a plain vanilla pattern on the back, so you can see that a lot. See the little blip of red? Oh, it makes me happy. And it reminds me of like a Monet painting, you know, like a really gentle, perfectly blended colorways. I'm just loving the striping because it just gives that kind of plop ripple effect, and it's like a really bright sunny day on the river, and the light splashing off it. Ugh. I think it's originally based on that scene in Robin Hood where Robin Hood meets, I think so, Azeem is one of his merry men, I believe. This is the story I've been telling. Kay, let me know if I'm wrong, okay? Because I can't remember what you said. This is what I've been telling myself that it is. That it's when Robin Hood met Little John and they fought on that river, and Azeem was one of his merry men, maybe. I don't know. It's just like, it reminds me of like a dappled stream edge. So these are making me happy, but I've been slowing down on these because of my hand being sore, so I haven't got very far. But hopefully I'll have the heel in by the next time, or maybe I'll have them finished. Depends. I feel like I'm not very consistent. I don't do it every week, and I do it maybe every 2 weeks maybe. But I feel if I don't have enough to show, I don't want to do a podcast, because I feel like I've been, you know, that it's not going to be interesting for you. But I love that. So that is the Midland base in, oh, look at these little, she like hand makes little sections of fabric that she has and she stamps them on. Oh, I love it. So Bakery Bears Cottage is the little shop. So Midland base, 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon, high twist, 365 meters in 100 grams. Azeem's dream. It's my dream too. I love it. And I have it in this wonderful bag that was sent to me by a beautiful viewer, wonderful viewer. And it's the kind of travel bag. And it's perfect because it sits up really nicely. You can tie it so the yarn is coming out like a little yarnet. And it's got loads of these little pockets inside and a little notions pouch that I've got all of my little notions in. I went around yesterday and I cleaned the whole house because we got an extra set of two sets of drawers, and we needed to do a lot of tidying because stuff was just everywhere. So, and I also, because people have been saying, is it Nessa and who else? Nessa and, was it Candice? Who had lots of badges and they didn't have any plain bags to make up. So maybe it was Jenny, the Lone Larch as well. I don't know. And these badges have a lot of meaning for me. So this is the I Love the NHS badge because I worked for the NHS for a long, long, long time. Like when I was a student, I include that as working because as a student you do work quite hard. So 7 years I worked for the NHS, and this was given to me by a wonderful registrar who I commented on it. He always wore it on his lanyard, and he was like, I feel like this was given to me and I feel like I'm going to hand it off to you because I feel like you really value the NHS's values. And I was like, this is a little badge and it's Mora from Rizzoli Isles, which could be my recommendation this week because it's so funny. So this is another girl that I used to work with when I worked in the NHS, and she was Jane and I was Mora because I'd be just sciencing all over the shop and she'd be like, I don't care, what are you talking about? So she gave me this little badge. And this was, it's the Harry Potter crest. I'll show you a little bit closer. This is the Harry Potter crest that James's sister and mother got from me from the 9 3/4 shop in King's Cross when they were down there. And I was like, I think I was only going out with James maybe a month and they got it for me, and I was like, that's the sweetest thing I've ever heard. So that's where I'm going to keep all my little badges. So that's my little socks. I'll pop them back in. I'm going to be losing them. That'll be a disaster. Like my face. I love my face. So that's the Hermione Everyday pattern by Erica Luder, and I'm using some Addies on a 2.5 millimeter size needle, which is my preferred on socks because I like the pattern, the fabric that it gives me with my attention. Now, I didn't tell you the yarn that I was using for the Ginny cardigan. I'm sorry. So it's for the Ginny cardigan, that's the blue cardigan with the owl lace. I'm using Bendigo Woollen Mills Savannah Harbour Blue 8 ply. And you get 200 grams with this, and it was such a good deal. It was like $12 for 200 grams, and I used 3 balls. So it was like $35, $36 for a cardigan, which is kick-ass. awesome. So it's 30% alpaca and 70% wool, and you all know that it's a bit scratchy because I've been going on about it for so long. And right on cue, James called me from work, and I was like, you're doing a really good job at interrupting every single podcast I make. I just closed the door as well, because every Monday, or every day I seem to be home, which just happens to be Monday, we get a round of very nice girls who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I have to pretend like I'm religious for, like, because I'm just like, I'm not, I just don't want to talk to them about the Bible and everything, because I'm just like, I've had enough of that growing up. Thank you very much. I don't want to. Please just leave me alone, because we don't really have a private garden, so we just open the door and we have a little balcony which the sun comes in on. It's lovely, but it's open to the public, so they just kind of walk on in and come, hi Grace, how are you? And I'm like, oh, they know my name. And I'm just too nice to say anything about it. I'll bring you in a little closer. Sorry, you're very far away. That's nice. That's better. I think there's a little glare coming from that window, so that's a bit better. Oh, we're getting very misty and delicious. I think it's because all the light is coming from this side. If there was another one. No, I just cannot deal with them right now. Cannot. So it's kind of frustrating that you have to close in your life to avoid these people. I did not invite you. Please do not come again. I can't say that to someone, can I? Where was I? I just finished the Bakery Bears socks. I'm sorry if I've started talking about something and then didn't. Anyway, I'm sure it wasn't very interesting. So let's carry on then. Oh, I was talking about the Bendigo Woollen Mills. Yeah, oh, I think I finished talking about that. That's fine. So my next project is a completely new cast on with the yarn that I got, an old stash of yarn from Kyneton. That's how you pronounce it. Kyneton Meskills wool store. So one of the girls that women that contacted me about a knit night around, Tina is her name. I hope you don't mind me saying your name, Tina. But she got back to me, and she had interviewed down near Kyneton for many years ago, and she found out that the wool, the wool store, the mill, had closed down. So you can't get this anymore, I don't think, which it makes it really, really special. So she was very sweet, and she did a little bit of research for me and checked to see what other people had done. And I was like, that's really sweet of you. So I'll be talking a bit more about Lisa later on. Oh, sorry, Tina. Did I say Lisa? Tina. Tina! I know you, Tina. Sorry. So, God, I feel really bad. Tina, you know what I know. Sorry. So I had 10 balls of this red, sorry for the crinkling, so the red hand knitting yarn. So I'm going to be entering this in a read along that's being done for heart health awareness, I think, heart disease, which I thoroughly agree with. I can't remember exactly who is doing it. I believe that the Spicy Homemaker is doing it, but I don't think she's doing a giveaway. I think she's doing a log of her diet and her exercise to kind of keep up with it as part of it. And so if you go over to her Ravelry group, she'll be able to point you in the right direction for that. So I'm going to be entering this for that, which is a genius idea. Because a lot of people underestimate just how important heart health is. It's the biggest killer around the world, and it's so easy to prevent it. It's ridiculous how easy it is, but it's hard work, and people don't want to do it because it's boring. It's eating healthily and getting exercise. Ugh, boring. And some people, for other medical reasons, can't eat healthy. And it's just really sad that some people don't realize how important it is and how horrible the treatment is for it. It's ripping I won't talk about it because it's too gross, but it is really important. And there's a really interesting documentary called The Widowmaker, about specifically coronary heart disease, and that is when the tiny little blood vessels that feed the actual heart with blood, because it's a muscle and it needs to be. God, I thought the Jehovah's Witnesses were breaking in. I was like, no. So they're not. So it's the tiny little vessels that feed the heart with blood, and when they get, because it's the smallest vessels that go first, because they're the ones that get blocked up because they're the smallest ones. So they're the ones that get blocked up with fat, with cholesterol, with, just non-use. They calcify. So if blood isn't pumping through fast enough, little bits that kind of get stuck, kind of little tiny bits in your blood that, say you've got extra sugar, extra fat in your bloodstream from eating extra sugar and extra blood, they just kind of get left there like sediment along a stream. And as the banks kind of get fuller and fuller and fuller, the blood finds it more difficult to pass through, and sometimes they can just close, and that's when it causes a heart attack. And it happens on these tiny little coronary vessels, and that's when the heart, when it doesn't get enough blood, it just stops working, which is bad. And one of the treatments that you can get done for the, or can do to check this, is a coronary CT calcium score. So it involves no injections, no nothing. It's just a CT scan, which is tracked by your heart. So you can pop on little kind of ECG stickers to track your heart rate, and then the scan, as it's going through, as you're going through the little donut. It's not the tunnel, the CT scan. It's a donut. So your head and your feet are kind of going to be out. So this is a bad sign. I shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, as you're going through, the CT scan is able to track when your heart is, when it does that boop boop, and it has that little flat bit in between the next boop boop. That's when it takes the scan. So you've got to take about 3 or 4 instant pictures, and it's able to form this incredible 3D scan of your heart, and it's able to analyze how much calcium you've got built up in those vessels. And it's one of the best ways to check, see how healthy your heart is, because heart attacks just happen out of the blue, don't they? You could be. So I personally am going to get one when I'm 40, and then one maybe when I'm 50, and then if my, if it's okay from then I'm obviously doing the right thing. And I'll keep doing that. And if I see that, oh God, your calcium is a little bit high, so your risk of a heart attack is quite high, then I'll change my diet and I'll change my exercise. I think exercise is where I'm lacking, because I don't eat meat or cheese or milk products. So I think I'm fairly low on that rate. However, I still eat lots of sweeties, so that's bad. I don't know if that's interesting for anyone. I think as a public service announcement, it's a really good idea to maybe get yourself checked if you're unsure. I don't know necessarily if it's covered on many insurance plans. It's part of the film The Widowmaker. That's quite interesting, because apparently they make more money off of doing the stent operations, the highly complicated stent operations to fix the heart. Those bypasses that people talk about. That's if you have a heart bypass, of triple bypass, double bypass, quadruple bypass, quintuple bypass, when all of your vessels are too clogged to work. Like, they make a lot of money out of that. So I'm not sure about that. That's politics. But anyway. So for this cow, I'm going to be making, it's called the All Year Cardigan by Tagia Hilliard, and it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and I don't have the picture here because I just downloaded it on my computer, but it's essentially almost, from what I can see and from what I have seen from the Featherweight cardigan, it's exactly the same pretty much, apart from it's in DK. So you start off at the top. I ran out of space on my phone. So, and now I've just while it was uploading, I've just been knitting on it. So I'm purling this. So I've just taken to Portuguese purling now, which is just So much easier than any other type of purling. It's brilliant. So you have the, I showed someone how to do, or someone, I showed you how to do it in one of my previous podcasts, but you have it over your arm and you tension it in your right hand, and if you're right-handed. And I don't even know how you would knit left-handed. Oh my God. I'm sure it's easy, but I just can't even comprehend it. So you have the yarn in the front, and you bring it over, you get your thumb, and you put it through and pop. Easy peasy. So anyway, let's stop that. Stop in the middle of the row, as is tradition. And let's show you the year-round cardigan. So you start at the top, and I'll be picking up this top bit as well. Lighting is terrible. And I'm going to be, knitting in a collar on that. So you knit out, and then I've separated for the sleeves, and it fits perfectly. And I'm just going down the body now. And I was going to add in, I was thinking like a cable would be really nice. And I was going to add in a cable on the front panel there. But I started thinking about it as I was doing it. And then I started doing it. And then I was like, I should have thought this out before I started, because that's a mess. So I took it all out. I hate ripping back. So I just kind of separate it out and let it kind of come down, and then I kind of re-knit everything back up with a crochet hook, because knitting all the rest of this again, I was like, no. So yes. So I'm really happy with these, and I'm going to pop on the little band. It's not going to be a button band because it just comes around the edge. It doesn't close at all. So it just kind of sits, and you're just adding a tiny little bit on the front. So that's basically the extent of the front panel there, which is only a couple of inches. And then you'll get the button band, which is probably another 2 inches, depending on how much yarn I have. So yeah, and oh my gosh. So can I talk about this yet? No, but I want to talk about this though. So one of the knit nights I went to, Tina gave me this beautiful little stitch marker, little TARDIS stitch marker. I've been making some stitch markers from places that I bought, so I gave the two girls that a little seahorse one, and she gave me this one, and I was like, she also gave me a whole cone of yarn as well. I was like, she's so kind. I'll talk about her later as well. So lovely. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I cannot get over how nice people are. So yes, I'm loving this, and I really want to finish my Ginny first before I start doing this properly, because I got really into this kind of just to have something to show you new. Sorry. But I also really wanted to cast it on because, yeah, so I took the needles off of my little doggy jumper that's kind of in hibernation for the moment, because it needs to be done for Christmas. It'll be done for Christmas. It's probably like a week of work every night, and then it'll be done. So it's not urgent. But this is urgent because I need to knit all of the heavy things before it gets super hot. Because I'm in Sydney, Australia, and it is spring right now. So, and it's like perfect blue skies every day, and I'm like, this is gonna get really hot. I'm really worried. And I'm using one of my little notions bags from a certain viewer, Carmen. Carmen has a little shop actually on Etsy. She does little she's keeping me sane on Instagram, and I'm gonna look up. Oh, I can't look up, this is not my phone. She has a little shop as well, and she sells little bookmarks, which are adorable. You should have a look. Definitely have a look at her. But yeah, I'm using... So I separated out, and I've just popped essential things, which is, for a sweater anyway, a little tape measure. And oh, here's one of the seahorse stitch markers I made. Little seahorsey. Stop jiggling and jerking. Stop dancing. So cute. So that's nice. And another one. And what I find useful in small for just a darning needle and a snips, and I have a little puppy snips that I got, a higher puppy snips when I got on Amazon when I'm in the UK. I miss Amazon so much. You know, it's something you don't realize, that they only do books down here in Australia. Stuff by post is difficult to get because the Australian postal system apparently is in trouble. So in some places they only deliver every second day or every third day, and it's like, whoa. That's like so foreign for me, coming from the UK, where you can get something delivered like the second day instantly. You know, it's pretty much you click on it and it's arrived. I don't know how good we have it in the UK sometimes. I say we like but I lived there for a long time, so anyway. So they are my 3 whips. So whipalicious. Now, I have a couple of things that I want to knit, and I want to do the featherweight properly, but I've put that on hold. A, because I'm not sure of the yarn. B, because I want to keep it for when it's hotter so that I have something to knit on. And I am obsessed with cardigans, with garments, with things that are useful. Now, I love this shawl, but I'm not really in a shawl mood because they're kind of a bit faffy and you need to have like a little clip, and then you end up looking a bit like, although this looks cute, doesn't it? I like the way it kind of does this little jiggly thing in the middle, because it's a crescent shaped shawl, so it goes like this, and it's nice. It's like the moon, you know. And yeah, so I'm putting off the featherweight until it gets hotter, and then I'll be able to knit it with the lace. I'm still worried about the lace, because I was like, oh, it's going to be fine, because Mina from Knitting Expat did yarn in a very light lace weight, and she said it was good. But did you adjust it at all, Mina? Like, did you add stitches, or did you go down a needle size? Because I'm doing it on a 4mm and it's very open. I'll show you. Zoom. It's over here. So I was talking with Linda, and she is, oh, is it Linda? Oh my God, I'm so bad. Yes, Linda. Names. I was talking with Linda, and she works in the place that I bought this yarn, which is Marcelin. Well, sometimes I think. But she said that it's very, very light, and it is, but this is the kind of fabric that you get from it, which is super, super lightweight. So this is with a 4mm needle, so maybe I need to test it with a 3. It's like a, oh, it smells nice. It smells like my conditioner kind of blocked it. I use herbal essences. Herbal essences something or other. It's the long one. It's the red one for long hair. Long-term relationship, I think it's called. It's so nice. Swatch stash. Okay, enough of that. So that's on my dreaming coming projects, and it's in one of my beautiful bags that Carmen sent me. So it's nice that it has like the handles, because I can just hang it off of the little light switch over there, and it reminds me I have to do that, or I think about it. So, oh, Linda also. So she has made this amazing jumper. Commit to your vowels. Jumper. That's the way you say it. I think I have a lot to talk about this week. I haven't done much knitting, I feel like, but I have a lot to talk about. So this is still a little bit of knitting because it's dream knitting, and then I'll be talking about spinning, and then I'll be on to like non-knitting stuff. I mean podcasts and babbling and that. So still a little bit if you're still interested. I'll say goodbye to you later on. So this is, yeah, so Lisa made this jumper out of it was a kind of a navy blue, and it's this colour mart, and it's a UK based yarn supplier, and it is very not indie or hand dyed or anything like that. This is, I think it costs something like $15 for 150 grams, like a cone of yarn. And that includes shipping anywhere around the world. Such a good price. So 3 cones of this, with this is a DK weight. You get 430 meters, and 3 cones of this made an adult large man's jumper. And it doesn't look very DK, does it? But when you block it, it turns into the most silky, delicious, plump yarn you've ever felt in your life. So I need to make a swatch out of this and block it, and then calculate out my gauge. So it looks kind of loose and not quite right when you're knitting it first, and then when you block it, it just kind of like magical. And I just couldn't stop touching her jumper. She wasn't wearing it. I couldn't stop holding it. I was like, this is incredible. So I believe what they do is they take each ply has like 10 plies in it, but they're super fine. And maybe it's the way, because the way it's coned up or something, that it stretches out the yarn quite thin. And then when you block it, it kind of like poofs out. So nice. Extra fine merino, 100%. And this is color 27853 green. So she didn't use this skein. So she said, oh, you can have it if you want, because I'm not going to use it. And I was like, oh my God, can I? So she did a really interesting, she added a zip in the front. I'll add the project page in the notes, because the project that she made was gorgeous. I found it once and then I couldn't find it again. Sorry. Hopefully I'll find it. But it is stunning. I could not get over it, Lisa. Oh my God. So what I'm going to do either 2 things with this, because it's quite a large meterage for a DK. You get 430 meters per 150 grams. And I think that's because that it's so tightly wound and there's not much air trapped in it, so it weighs less. But then when you plump it out with water, it puffs up to a good DK. Maybe that's why it's cheaper to ship it as well, because it's lighter. I don't know. But so I think I would like to, I don't think I'm going to have enough to make a garment. I really want to make a garment out of this. It was so delicious. And I was looking at the Picovoli vest top by Grumperina on Ravelry, and it was published in Notions, formerly Knotions, Knotions, formerly Knitz Patterns, August 2005. So it's this very simple kind of tank top. So you start out cast on the front, and then you increase out, and then you just cast off the sleeves, and you can add like a little picot detail or just a straight edge, and then you just make a little vest. But I don't think I'm going to have enough to do a long enough vest that what I like. So I was thinking instead of doing the Bakery Bears Handbrake cowl that they released for cancer research, and it's free now, because I think it was like you could donate like a pound, $1 or a pound or something, and they made so much money for that. They made like over $1,000 on it, $1,600 I think. So I'd love to try it, because I've seen everyone try it. So I might do it as like a gift for somebody or just myself, because this green is not my green normally, but you know, as a redhead, I feel like it's quite nice. I try not, like, I do love green, but I try not to go this bright green, because it's a little bit too stereotypical as an Irish person. But I could make it for St. Patrick's Day and wear it on St. Patrick's Day. I don't know, sometimes I feel like, hey, look, there's like a little stamp on the inside. It's like a little clover or a shamrock. It's probably just nothing, but I like to think that it was because it's Irish. So I'm really excited about this. I might do 2 of those things. Either a handbrake or the Picovoli. Roll off the tongue. Because I think cropped things should just burn in hell for me. I just cannot deal with them. They look ridiculous on me. I've just noticed, right? I do like green things, don't I? I go through phases of colours, don't I? Like before, like in May, it was all this mint green thing going on, and then before that it was like the teal in March, the kind of like really deep teals, and now it's this red color, and now it's kind of the bright green. I love it. I'll go through the whole color wheel. I like it actually, because I'm not really a brave colour person, I don't think, but knitting has kind of introduced me to so many different colour combinations and very nice things. But yeah, so I'm going through the colour wheel, not in order, just randomly, whenever I see something nice. So that is what I'm dreaming of knitting. I'm just going to show you, I haven't really gone crazy on the spinning. I haven't really done much. I feel like I haven't, I don't know if I've shown you the Bogway hand spinner, but I was just doing a little bit while I was waiting for someone to stop blowing their leaves all over and making loads of noise outside. So the Bogway hand spinner arrived and I've been loving it. It's completely different to the drop spindle in the way you do it. So it comes with the fleece with it, and purple is so purple. This is a colour I was into when I was about 15, 16. So I still love it, but I feel a bit silly dealing with it sometimes. So what you do is you get your yarn, and I'm just going to draft it a little bit thinner because I'm terrible. I'm not very good at drafting, I feel like. So it's still a bit puffy there. Puff, puff, puff. Puff, 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 puff. Right. So you get it this side, and I like to use it this way because I've been having some prep trouble with this hand. So I hold it like a pencil, and then I just spin it like this. I feel like I'm not doing this because you have to hold up your arm a little bit for that, so I don't like hold up my arm because I've got shoulder problems as well. So I hold it like this, and then you can do it any way you want as long as it doesn't hit off your hand like that. So you put no tension on it, because if you put tension it just stops, which isn't what you need. You need it to keep spinning. So whatever way you like, really, whichever way is most comfortable. And then when it starts doing that, I like to wind it up because that's the only way I can tell that I don't even know if I'm overspinning. Is that overspun if you do it that way? I don't know. But it's coming up really cute, really nice. And I blended in some of my other white fibre from my merino fleece. I haven't done anything on that. I might do that this afternoon. So I've got all this yarn to do, and what I'm doing is it comes kind of folded in a long kind of, it must be like, so what I'm doing is I'm just splitting off bits like this. It's supposed to come all the way now. It doesn't do that right now. That's fine. Fine. Be awkward when you're on the show. Rude. So I love it. I love it, and it's so interesting. It's the Bogway hand spinner by Lowlands Legacy in Holland, and they repurpose old furniture. So this is like an old furniture leg, you know, the old chair legs. I love it. Recycling. So I'll pop that in there. I love it. Thank you guys. They sent me a lovely email as well saying thank you very much for your purchase. They've got loads and loads of requests for the Bogway hand spinner because of Mina's podcast that she did, Mina's vlog when she went to Fibre East. So the rest of my spinning, I've done a couple of little row legs, made a couple of little row legs, but what I want to do is make loads of row legs so I can just keep spinning. Just keep spinning. So we made a few when I went and taught. The guy that gave me the yarn, or the fleece, I went over to my friend's house and we made some floofers. I call them floofers now because they're so floofy. I cannot believe that this came from that filthy fleece that I had. Look, preparation is key. So yeah, I've been filling up this. So the only issue is my arm gets quite tired because you're holding it up. So in the old pictures of spinners, they have this long stick that they kind of keep tucked in, and all of the stuff is kind of held up in that stick, and then they just pull from it gently, and it's down here. So I have a lamp. I could just put all the fleece on top of the lamp. I could do that. It'd be fine. But I want to prep loads of yarn, loads and loads and loads of fibre to do that first. So I've only been, I don't even know how to weigh it yet because I've got to like wind it off and then weigh it on my new weighing scales that I just gave in and bought from Kmart because my ones that's coming from China are never going to come. That's fine, I've accepted it. So that's pretty much all I have for what I've been doing, what I've been knitting and spinning and thinking about knitting. So if you don't want to hear any more about what I've been up to the last couple of weeks, I'll say goodbye, that's fine, thank you for popping in. But if you do, I've got a couple of things to talk about. So first off is my community, my community things that I'm doing, and then I'm going to talk about some podcasts and then some extra babbles of things that have been interesting me or annoying me. Little ranty. But so the community, the Handmade and Woollen podcast are doing a community along, and it's running to the end of 2016, and it's kind of really inspired me to get out into the community, and a lot of people have been reaching out to me. So one of them has been the wonderful Tina, who is a viewer of my podcast, and she saw one of my little videos of the Markville markets, and she contacted me and she was like, I live just down the road, oh my god, come to my knit night. I was like, yes. So I went, she picked me up and we drove out, and it was so strange to talk to someone who knows what I'm talking about on the podcast. Like it was really odd. I was like, oh, you listen to me, that's so nice. And she is an incredible knitter. She was wearing this amazing sweater, and I'm going to try, I definitely have to get you to come onto the podcast because I'm not fast enough, and you can show all your stuff while I'm trying to make up content for this, okay, Tina? So we went over to her friend's house, Linda's house, and we had some wine, we had some nibbles, and I saw, for the first time in real life, a Cozy Memories blanket. It is stunning, right? Stunning. And it was just being in the presence of some of the yarn that they were buying. Some of the yarn that they had was like Circus Tonic handmade yarn and some Woolen Vine minis and stuff. And I was able to like physically feel all of these amazing yarns that everyone's always talking about that I don't have access to right now. And it was just absolutely wonderful just to spend a whole evening talking about like really detailed yarny stuff. And I'm really glad that I understand that now. I understand so much. You don't realize how much you learn from podcasts, I feel like. But I think I learn everything from podcasts now. I think everything I have learned is from podcasts. And I think podcasters are extremely good teachers. We kind of kick ourselves sometimes for not being, but we are. I say we. But, I mean, you learn by being interested in something. And people who are interested are often, want to share why they're interested and want to share why and how. And I just really loved spending the entire evening learning so much from these wonderful two ladies. So she gave me that wonderful, Linda gave me that absolutely beautiful little TARDIS stitch marker and the colour mark yarn. Like, how sweet. So they were also showing like this deep pilling instrument, which was fabulous. So I used that on my cardigan and it was really, really nice. And there was a yarn winder there, first time I've seen it in the real life, and I was like, I want to play with it. So Tina had just bought a Fair Isle kit, an Alice Starmore Fair Isle kit that she was inspired to buy because of the Fruity Knitting podcast, and I saw it in real life and I just nearly died. I was like, oh my god, it's this huge box of all of the yarn that you'd need, and it was so beautiful. And she was also knitting with Brooklyn tweed first time. So I got to touch all the Brooklyn tweed, and then she also had some amazing Circus Tonic handmade sparkle stuff, and I was like, I need to get my hands on some of that. What I would absolutely adore to do is get some Circus Tonic handmade for a cardigan or sweater, cardigan probably, and oh my god, I would love that so much. She has such incredible like neutrals with some pops of certain things, so Oh, and she does lots of bird colorways, and there are so many interesting birds in Australia, like crazy interesting birds. And they're just like around, just hanging around, like, oh, there's a cockatoo that would cost several thousand in the UK, but there's like 15 outside, like pigeons. I'm like, what? So yeah, on my Instagram I have like a couple of little videos of being like, what's this one? It's a pink and grey parroty type of bird. And then someone's like, it's a gala, you gala. I was like, oh, all right. That's, I think my name's better. So I've been stalking Circus Hannah Handmade. I've been trying to save up, but Tina has highas. And she was like, try it. I was like, oh. And I was knitting with them, and it was like knitting with butter. It sounds really messy, but delicious. And it was just so gorgeous to knit with. It's just so fluid and yeah, very sharp. So I've got to like, because I'm a flicker. So what have I got? So yeah, with the highas, I have to like exaggerate my flick, and I could never do this because I'd lose a fingernail probably. So hang on a minute. So I have to, instead of just going like this, I'd have to go like woo to avoid the tips. But she's ordered me some, so it's winging its way. So hopefully by the next knit night, which is in a couple of weeks, it'll have arrived, and I'm like, I'm so excited. Now I can't stop knitting, but that's fine. I'm doing a little bit of blabbering so I can knit as well at the same time. I'm on the Hermione section though, so that'll be a little bit confusing. I should really stop. I can't. You get it. Everybody gets it, right? So that was just such a surreal night. It was incredible. Sorry, my computer's just behind me there. The phone is on the computer, and I'm using the computer as a phone stand because I don't have one. And in between like uploading all the bits, because I can only record about 25 minutes at a time on my phone at the moment because the battery is so bad. I'm watching Opera Joe stitching the high notes because I love her to bits and pieces. Oh my god, she's incredible. So, but I'm not getting to that yet. I keep skipping ahead. Okay, so I have been on Periscope a lot recently. This is still part of my community section. So Sue has been talking about Periscope, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure about Periscope. And then I caught one of her things and I'm hooked because you could talk to her directly, and she's like, oh, Grace. And I'm like, she's talking to me. To me. It's just so much fun, and I just fangirled, and I was like, I love you so much, Sue. Oh my god, I mean, blah, 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 blah. And she was so cute. I love her so much. So, and it's just really nice to see what she's up to and see what she's doing. And we got a sneak peek of the Christmas colorways, you guys. So get on Sue's Periscope. They are amazing, with capital M and an A. So sorry, I just missed that little one there. So Shannon from Socksetra is also on Periscope, so I've been catching hers, and she was saying that she wants to do like a virtual knit night, and she was on yesterday, and she was like, should we just do it now? Is anybody able to just do it now? So we all kind of, like a group of us, probably about 6 or 7 of us, maybe 10 when we tapped out, and we went on Google Hangouts, and literally we just sat there and chatted for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, okay, we're gonna go and do something because blah blah blah. And I got off, and James was like, no, I'm happy here if you want to stay here. And I was like, well, they're having a conversation without me. I've got to get back on there. So I just went straight back on. I went off for 5 minutes, and I was like, I missed you guys. What did you talk about? And it turns out I think it was poop or something very interesting. And I was like, I can't believe I missed it. I don't remember. It was probably. So I met Shannon and Lisa, her friend Lisa. And Aoife was on there as well, I think. Aoife was on there for a minute or two. The girl she's always talking to and about. And then there was also Marcelin from the BrownBerry podcast, BrownBerry Chronicles podcast. And she was so interesting to talk to. She is a magnificent knitter. And she was talking all about the Secret Shawl Society by Helen Stewart of the Curious Handmade podcast. And I've been listening to her quite a lot because I've run out of credits on my Audible and I'm not buying any more. Actually, I lied. I bought Outlander the other day because it was only $1.99 on a deal. So I started listening to that. So we also met Nikki and Lorelei, who's an amazing jewellery designer, really good jewellery designer. I'll pop her Etsy shop in the show notes if I remember. And we also met Lena from Norway, and she was on at like 2 a.m. So it was like 10 a.m. in the morning for me, and it was about 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. across North America. And it was just so great. Like, we just chatted for hours, and like I made my lunch and they were like, show us what you're making. And I was like, oh, I'm making this and I'm making this and I'm making this. Because I got these amazing like Bluetooth earphones. So I put the iPad there and I can there's no wire or anything, which is awesome. So that was amazing. So hope we're going to do that again soon because that was super fun. And you should join us if you want. Definitely. So hi to all the girls. And it was lovely. I think 10 people was quite, I think any more than 10 would be really messy because it was difficult to, and Shannon was really good, like she was a really good chairperson, really good moderator, because she was like, this person, tell us what you're doing, you know? So she was really good at managing and organizing. You know, she's an events girl. She's got it good. She's good at what she does. So I also have 2 events that I'm going to be going to. One of them is on the 9th of October. They're all going to be happening in October. So one of them is on the 9th of October, and it's the New South Wales Knitters Guild Fibre Festival in Hunter Valley, in the middle of the Hunter Valley, which is an amazing wine producing region. So we're going to take little Lofi up, we're going to drive up, and the 9th of October is a Sunday, and it's happening in the Sisters of Mercy Convent in Singleton, which is smack bang in the middle of Hunter Valley, happening from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it sounds like it's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to go. The girls from Knit Night are hopefully going as well. So, and I'm also hopefully joining in on another New South Wales knitting. I was meant to go. We were meant to go to Jervis Bay this weekend, but I was feeling a bit ill on Friday and Saturday, so we just hung around here. And there was a Knitters Guild meeting on Saturday, and I missed it. And I was like, oh, they were talking about socks, and I was like, oh. So I'm definitely going to the next one as well. And there was a sale I get an email report on, it's called I Know the Pilot, and there was a 4-hour sale on Jetstar, and I got return flights for $70 from Sydney to Melbourne, which is an incredible price. So I'm going to the Melbourne Craft and Quilt Fair on July 28th to 31st. I'm actually just going for the Sunday. I'm flying out really early on Sunday night and coming home on Monday. And so I get Mondays off normally, so hopefully that's okay. Oh, I better text my boss now. So in Melbourne, so I'm going to the Quilt and Craft Fair on the Sunday. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but that's just what I'm going to do. And on the Monday, then I'm going to be going around Melbourne and going to all the beautiful beautiful wool shops in Melbourne, because there's a severe dearth of them here in Sydney, and I haven't been able to get to most of them. They're in the north. They're in northern Sydney, which is a bit tricky to get to, but I might be able to go on a little yarn crawl with my new knitting friends. So yes, I actually had to blow off a meeting with my original, that's really bad, isn't it? My original knitting group in the Art of Craft group in the art gallery, because I really wanted to talk to Shannon and Marcy and people in the Knit Night. So I feel really bad, but I feel like we really I feel like it was really good for me to learn about... Oh, Marcia was there as well. How could I forget you, Marcia? My God, Marcia from Very Little. That's rude. Me and Marcia had a really good chat about everything. And yeah, it was just really interesting kind of... We talked about everything from like business to like the world in general at the moment to like lots of tips about how to form, like make one left and make one right. I actually still don't know how to do that, but they did try to teach me. I don't know. Bless their little hearts. I'm difficult to teach. I just don't know what I'm doing most of the time. It's fine. Hashtag. So I have lots of fun times and it's mostly in October, so it's going to be exciting. So I want to mention, I've already mentioned all the podcasts, but there's 3 podcasts that I want to specifically mention. So Stitching the High Notes with Joanna, or Opera Joe, on most of the social medias. She's also on Periscope, so I've been watching you, but replays mainly. I can't seem to catch you in real life, but I can't wait to. So I found her originally through Sue's podcast, and Sue's Periscope, because she was commenting, and she's just hilarious on Periscope. And I was like, well, her podcast must be amazing. And I've heard of her quite a lot. She's just the best. She makes all these incredible costumes. Like in the last episode, I've been watching in between trying to upload bloodiers things, blah, blah. She's made these incredible costumes for things like Comic-Con and like medieval fairs and Scottish things that she goes to. And I love her. I love her so much. So go watch her now. I love you, Joanna. I love you a lot. Because she's so funny. So funny. Yeah. And she's just so positive and happy, and I love listening to her. It just makes my day better. Just like a little ray of sunshine. And then there's also, well, I wanted to mention Marcy again from the BrownBerry Chronicles. Just because she's doing these incredible shawls because she's amazing anyway. I've mentioned her before because she was the one that started me on my Zentangle journey again. But she's just entered my sketch along actually, so pop in if you want to see. But she's been making all of the Helen Stewart shawl patterns, and wow, she's started on, she's gotten really into beading as well on some of the shawls that's involved in that shawl society. Oh, it's so beautiful. So pop along to her. She's super awesome. So I think I have mentioned her before, but anyway. And this morning, I cannot believe I have not been watching this lady, Tilly Trout. I want to be her friend so bad. I want to go over to her house, and oh my god, I'm actually tearing up a little bit. That's ridiculous. She is the sweetest woman I've ever heard of, and I think she works in like a cancer research lab. She was like, I'm only on I've only kind of jumped in at like episode 8 or something. I don't know why. It was like the first one that came on. I just like click, whatever. And she was like talking about how they research cancer cells and stuff. And then she like gives out about her dog hiding her shoes. I love her so much. How can you love people you've never met? I don't know. I don't even know, but I am thoroughly enjoying blitzing everything she's ever said. I love her accent. I love who she is as a person, and just the things she says. Like she was talking about how her husband, Mr. Trout, had gone up to Scotland and he was fettling his boat. She's like, which I think means having a little cup of tea on his boat and getting a little peace and quiet from me. And she was like, and and because he's gone, I can eat all the things that I want to eat that he doesn't like, which is like rice pudding every day and steaks and I cannot stop laughing. She's so freaking funny. I love her to bits. And oh god, she's so cute. Sorry, emotional. I don't know why she makes me so emotional. She's so good. I think I'm gonna stop this and go watch her, because nothing I'll ever make is gonna be as cute as what she makes and as lovely as who she is. Okay, I gotta calm down. I think I'm gonna stop now for a second and just... Okay, I'm calm. So they're the 3 wonderful podcasts that I want to just mention today, and they're kind of my recommendations, because I don't have any particular things to recommend apart from, I can't remember. I said something earlier, but I can't remember. My show notes are going to be all over the shop. I have to get better at show notes and like putting up a thread so people can talk about it in Ravelry. I feel like I'm missing out on some sort of communication situation there. What do you guys think? I'm loving, like, I love getting comments on YouTube, and I love chatting to anybody that wants to talk to me, but I feel like Ravelry is just a bit clunky, mainly because I never get to use my computer because James is always on it. Love him to bits, but it's my computer. I just miss the tappiness anyway. So more babbles about general, seasonal, interesting things that you might be interested in. Oh, I've mentioned that one, so I can cut that off. Okay, so mainly I'm going to be talking about autumn. Halloween in particular, because it's all I've been hearing about from everybody. I am not a big Halloween person. I'll admit it. I'm getting a lot of hate right now because I said that. I don't get pumpkin spiciness. I don't get it. Pumpkin tastes horrible. It doesn't. It's a vegetable. People are putting sweet stuff in it, and I'm like, I don't get it. So yeah. And I think it might be because I'm Irish. Now, in Ireland, Halloween means something slightly different. Halloween is a Celtic tradition. So I'm going to call it and say it's an Irish tradition. It's totally not. It's Celtic. So Celtic involves a lot of countries like Scotland and the Celts in England and Wales and Ireland, and kind of the farther, because what happened was a little bit of history, very basic history, when the Romans came and they kind of took over Europe. The Celts that were originally there were kind of pushed farther out to the edges of Europe. I'm doing it this way because I'm hoping it's going to flip it around, and then this is going to be the correct side, the way you're seeing. Anyway, so this is like Scotland and the edge, like Ireland, the little island, and Wales, and a little bit of France as well, Brittany, and a little bit of Spain, which is known as Galicia, which is Gaul, kind of Gallic. So they have very Celtic influences down there. And I walked through it on my Camino. I don't know if I've talked about my Camino, have I? The Camino de Santiago in Spain. I might do a little episode on that, because that was big part of my life. I think I probably must have. I always talk about it. So Halloween is based on when the time of the year when the hours are exactly the same in the day and the night. So you've got equal time, light and dark. And you have this 2 times in the year. You have it on Walpurgis night, which is in May, which is on the 1st of May, and on the 31st of October, which is Halloween, or All Hallows Eve. And the myth is that when the days are exactly the same, there's a fight that goes on between kind of overpowering, so like the spirits of the dark fight with the spirits of the light, because they're evil, they're even tempered. And in Halloween, the spirits of the dark win, because it's going to keep getting darker. And in the springtime, the spirits of summer and the light and goodness and everything, they win, and it becomes summer again. So the tradition is, I'm sure lots of people know this, but in Ireland, you dress up to scare away the evil spirits, because apparently if you dress up and look like them, then they'll be like, hey dude, you're on our side, awesome, carry on. But pumpkins don't really grow in Ireland. That is a completely American tradition, I feel like, because what we used to do is, well, traditionally, pumpkins are way easier to carve. I think personally that's why this happened. But we used to carve out turnips, which are a lot harder, and they look terrifying when they're carved out. I'm going to save a picture and hopefully insert it here. If not, look up traditional turnip Halloween carved head. It's terrifying because they're really hard to carve. And so we'd have like these massive bonfires on Halloween to scare away the ghosts, to scare away everything. And so you'd think I'd be really into it, right? Because it's an Irish tradition. But around our house, like we used to when we were younger, kind of go around to all the houses, but we lived in the countryside. So you used to have to walk miles at night to get up to all the different houses. But with modern day and people not really wanting to let their children outside, you kind of just drive to the houses, which isn't quite the same. So yeah, and in Ireland especially, autumn means there's no stretch in the evening. The night gets really dark and wet and it starts getting a little bit miserable. And I get it. That's what autumn is in most places. But maybe it's because I haven't really had a proper autumn when I've been a knitter that I don't get the whole knitting obsession with it. I mean, I totally understand it. I really understand it. But I just don't know. I'm like, pumpkin spice. Ugh. And especially because I'm in Australia now and it's spring. So everyone keeps talking about autumn and how much they love autumn and they can wear all their knits. And I'm like frantically trying to wear all my knits before my time is up. And everyone's going to be talking about making lots of nice sweaters for Christmas and I feel left out. Maybe that's why I also don't get it. But I don't get the pumpkin spice thing. That's a new thing to me, I think. I just don't like that taste. I also don't like eggnog because it's egg yolk. Ugh. Ugh. And I don't like the taste of it either. Am I just like some sort of crazy person that doesn't like festival related food? Maybe. I don't like turkey either. It's really dry. I don't eat meat anymore. I eat anyway. I made an incredible nut loaf though. Oh, nut loaf is my favourite thing now. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I thought that was quite interesting because a lot of people didn't. Maybe you do realise that it's a Celtic holiday and that's why it's called Halloween, because it's All Hallows Eve. So we have a mass. There's a mass always said on Halloween, and the next day is All Saints, All Souls. I think the 1st of November is where you remember your dead. So it's quite like you just go to mass and you visit the graves of everyone that you knew. So Halloween is kind of when all the spirits are up and awake and running around the countryside, and then the day after is when you try and put them to bed again. You're like, okay, go back to sleep. So you go and you remember your dead and that sort of thing. So sometimes I think people go and visit their graves. Oh, we never did that. We just went to mass. Just go to mass because that's what you do as a family growing up in Ireland in the 1990s and any time before that. Nowadays, I think things are changing quite a lot and the mass attendances aren't so full for various political and ethical reasons. And yeah, so I just thought it was really interesting to have a little chat about that and what I think about pumpkin spice. Someone asked me on Instagram, oh, is there any festive drink that you like to drink? And I was like, nope, black tea. And then in winter, maybe like lemon and honey and ginger just to stay off the colds. I'm so boring. Isn't my hair nice like this? It looks really red, doesn't it? My hair's not red, really. I like it when it looks red. I'd love to dye it properly red, but I'm scared about it going wrong, it costing a lot of money, and me having to do it for the rest of my life. Lazy as sin right here, so yes. So I am going to enter a little... Yeah, okay, I'm going to put up a thread in the Ravelry group and we're going to have a chat about everything I've mentioned today because it's all gone a bit wrong, I think, and I've just mentioned loads of stuff and If you find anything interesting, you can ask me on that thread and I'll be on there. I'll be keeping up to date. And tell me how you think about convince me why you like fall so much. Fall, which is just autumn for me. So fall is how they say it in America. Yay. Yippee-ki-yay. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I think I've mentioned everything. I've mentioned everything on my notes, and I have no idea how long this is because I've had to stop it and start it a million times as usual. Sorry if that's annoying to anybody. And I'm going to have to do some serious editing and writing down what I said I'd write down. So I'm going to watch this again and do that. So that's what I'll be doing this Monday. It's like a full-time job really, this. I love it so much though. Thank you so much for popping in. And I didn't say it again, didn't I? Thank you so much for stopping. If you're new, I hope I didn't scare you away with whatever came out of my mouth. I can't even remember. And for those that come back every week, I cannot believe you. You are an incredible bunch of people. I heart you guys so much. Bye. Okay, bye. Royal National Park, I think. We're going to go on a little hike. First day trip out of Sydney in like 2.5 months. Exciting! He's busy today. Little Marley, Royal Coast Walk. Let's get onto this beach. From our walk, a lovely walk. We just stopped off at this beautiful spot to get a little bit of sugary, salty food. So I was feeling a bit hot. There's a river down there. People are like boating down there. And there's this beautiful cafe, which is an old dance hall, so to say. And we had chips, which is delicious. And it's a beautiful place.